Capricorn. So this is a Finding Your North Star, and it's really interesting. And I've done it with the view to finding your North Star, so how to get orientated to your best life, but specifically with the idea of how we write our lives in the way that will be most meaningful to us. So I've just finished reading The Rosefield by Philip Pullman, which is the last part of his amazing trilogies about Lyra Silvertongue. And they're just such an incredible experience. I hope you all have the experience of reading them. They're so wise, they're so sort of unlocking for me anyway. And there's this idea, no spoilers, but like, how do we interact with what's going on around us? How do we mold it is what I was thinking, is like, how can you be best placed to sort of dance with life, to make what you need happen around you and use what's going on around you as well. So you, in relation to that idea, we've got you as the Seven of Wands. You're rather good at it. It might feel a little bit hectic sometimes. You've got your boot and your shoe on. You're up on higher ground though, and you're fighting off all the competing needs, and you seem to know how to grasp the one beautiful wand that will make you happy, but it sometimes can feel a lot. So there is a sense of feeling a little bit destabilized in that activity. The root skills that you've got to support you, this is interesting. We've got the Six of Swords, but in reverse. So the Six of Swords, when it's in the upright, is talking about removing yourself from troubled waters and moving into smoother waters, learning all your lessons, taking all your parts. This kind of greyed out background that you're moving towards is a future that feels less turbulent than this water here. And there's a kind of sense of learning lessons intellectually, having all of your lessons in that boat, and then taking yourself with that knowledge into somewhere smoother. If it's upside down and it's a root skill, it feels to me as if you can tolerate discomfort. You can, you're sturdy enough, because we see you with that Seven of Wands, you're sturdy enough to stay in the rough water, really. You could be in danger if we were reading it in a negative position of not learning your lessons, but here it's in a positive position. What are your root skills? Well, your root skills are that you can tolerate the turbulence, that you can allow other voices in. It's as if the feet, if we're thinking of the Rosefield, as if we're thinking of this kind of consciousness that pervades everything, however you want to think about that, you can tune in to lots of different things. You can stay in quite challenging situations without needing to kind of rescue yourself in a way. You can stay longer than others. It's almost like a kind of epic hero energy for me. It's like you're sort of, you can go to places and be tolerant of the discomfort and the mental anguish potentially in order to vanquish the dragon, get the psychological know-how that you need. You don't have to always make yourself safe. So it's really interesting. Something you might want to give up on is the world. Trying to get everything completely sorted in its place. Those fixed signs around her here, you know, indicating kind of very stable energy. And again, because we can see you tolerant of instability, in this you forging your way and dancing with life to make what you need out of it. Don't be too fixed. Let go of having to have everything fixed and in its kind of perfect form, because that's not, as for you, as creatively fulfilling for some reason or other. I think you need the turbulence somehow. And how to set your North Star and how to tell your story, how to gain your story out of it. Again, in reverse, the Wheel of Fortune. So it's saying don't push too hard again for your own version of things. Don't push to resolve things, to impose on them. I mean, it's interesting because Capricorn, you are very clear-sighted about what you want, I think. Most of the Capricorns I know have some ideas of what they want to achieve. They're that goat going up the mountain. So it would be quite easy to try and collapse reality down into your version, the sort of managed version, the static version. But how to actually dance with life is saying, don't push quickly. Remain in this kind of dynamic dance for a while. Obviously, we want you to get what you want, but don't push too quickly. It's really interesting. Allow the fates, the turbulent water, to sort of dance with you a bit, because there's something that you're getting out of it. Really interesting. And where it's all going is this beautiful card of intuition, with the two of the High Priestess, and then these two women having, which is an extra illustration from Pamela Coleman Smith here, having a little chat in a garden. One seeming quite whimsical, offering a rose, the other looking quite kind of well-to-do, but they're in cahoots with each other. One seems to represent nature and the other seems to represent status. And who's that little yellow person, sleeved person in the background? Who is that to you? That's interesting. So we've got you with that energy of kind of, it's almost a bit Nine of Pentacles. It's in the garden, but it's a kind of friendship. There's a sense of another character off to the side. There's it's like they could be telling stories to each other. There is a sense of nature informing the rich woman, or kind of a cooperation between nature and the receiver. And it's very much the energy again of the High Priestess, who sits and intuits. So she's not pushing for change. She's not trying to make things the way that she wants, like the Wheel of Fortune would do, or the Six of Swords tries to organize everything. She's allowing and knowing and kind of weaving with what she's being told. And I think it's to do with nature's currents because of that other picture. So let's put some capping cards here. We've got two coming out from this other tarot deck. We've got the Prince of Cups and the Ten of Swords. It's really lovely. So firstly, the Ten of Swords. It's such a positive version of this card, which talks about when we finally stop fighting, again, like trying to push the Wheel of Fortune into its place, trying to get everything orderly. When we don't fight, when we don't put all our energy into something, because we realize there is no way of making it the way that we want it. When we realize something is beyond our control and that we have to allow it to die, to morph, to change, then that character who's resigned, there's part of her that's then able to soar into this pink sky and start a new life. So the Wheel of Fortune is a 10, this is a 10. So it's talking about, and the World is a card of completion as well, and 10's a completion. So it's talking about transcending through, not through your will, but through acceptance of what is going on around you, through that High Priestess energy that will sit with the fact. And then with this, we've got the Prince of Cups. A very whimsical energy, like the Page of Cups. What it is, the Page of Cups. It's saying, no, sorry, this is the Knight of Cups. It's saying, once you, and again, he's dressed in pink, so it's interesting. It's as if this character becomes him, transcending out of all of this chaos that you don't impose yourself upon. You're able then to come to the world with a grail cup of something that you love to offer the world. You are very comfortable in this enormously broiling sea, these big fish that are coming out, but yet you're standing there in that pink again, looking really commanding. So able to exist in the chaos and then able to bring something out of it, your story, which is told with love, that you can pass on to other people, that you can fashion for yourself. I really love this. Let's get you, sorry about my washing machine, which will start squeaking in a minute when it finishes the cycle. But let's get you, I don't know whether you can hear it, a creativity card. So this is a lovely deck I haven't used for a while, but it really wanted to be picked up today. So a windmill, something very productive. What am I saying here without turning them over, because I don't know what these are. So a windmill with a lovely pastoral scene, some pink flowers that remind me a bit of this energy, and a moon with a kind of aurora, a sort of haze around it. So, and then, wow, and then I can read what the back says. So something productive, something that works with nature, works with the cycles of the wind to make something that's usable, but using a very kind of the wind. When does the wind come? We can't control it. Well, maybe, who knows? We can't control it, and and it can be quite destructive, but here we're making use of it. The big winds will be able to turn the water, will be able to mill something, will be able to generate power for us. So again, it's this idea of going with the seasons. And it says on the back, cycles. The wind blows, the wheel turns. We go through cycles just like nature because we are part of nature. Oh, so lovely. So it's like, oh, I've got to turn that off. Sorry, that's going to drive us mad. One moment. I've got more to say. One moment. Yeah, so it's like exactly what I saw in this. So you, when it comes to your storytelling, when it comes to you weaving the best out of your life, it's going with nature. It's listening. You become your most refined when you listen to what nature wants you to tell you. When you take that rose from her, all of this is really pertinent to the Philip Pullman rose field. The winds are really pertinent to the story. I don't want to ruin it for you, but there's a lot that I found really interesting talking about winds of change, the way that the natural beings can perceive when there's more turbulence than there should be. I don't think that's ruining anything at all, because you'd have to read it to really understand what I'm saying. But you can take those moments and make something of them. It's a bit like the Wheel of Fortune, which you would normally jump into turn, but you don't turn it. You allow the winds to turn it because they are informing you of something natural. And from that, through that cycle, we go through cycles just like nature because we are part of nature. And that brings you again in this very natural scene of great turbulence. You then are able to offer your story from that. You're able to offer your version of life from that, your amazing ability to work with what's going on around you to create a story that's meaningful for you and everyone else around you. And it's a resilient one, and it's a very balanced one, and that's very beautiful. Thank you. See you again.